Usually those events happen like to the firefighters, to the rescue teams after catastrophic events, but also you as coaches, and in sports there are some events that can trigger stress either in athletes or in you as a coach. Yeah, it's kind of experimental. We'll see how it works in a few months when you will be hopefully able to apply it. Okay. So what is, we said we're gonna name it Coach Support System, CSS. That's kind of offering support to coaches, team members, athletes in stressful, critical events for them. In everyone's life, there are gonna be some critical events that happens. It can be really catastrophic, like house is burning down, you have a car accident, divorce, or as you learned this year with mindfulness and that, also some minor events can be stressful for that specific individual. In sports, that could be like losing a game, not making it into a team. And some events that maybe for me as an individual are minor, but for that athlete or that coach is a big stressful event in their lives. The goal of that program is to reduce harmful stress, to get support from coaches, from fellow athletes, from the network around us, raise awareness of some different reactions to critical events. Those can be emotional, behavioral, cognitive, or physical. And that everything together should build trust and cooperation inside the team. Have a look how it works. When a stressful critical event occurs, every individual has a different perception of that event. If you remember that ABC model we had, every situation triggers different response, different emotions, first a thought, then emotion, behavior, and that's also this individual perception of an event is connected to that. Our experiences, beliefs, values, everything we experienced in our lives, how we were raised, influences that perception of this stressful or not stressful event for us. And that means that also the reaction to the event depends on what the event is and how we perceive it. Additionally, we have some external and internal resources that can help us cope with that reaction. External support would be, do I have a supportive family? Do I have a circle of friends in the club? Are my team members supportive? That's where we fall into place in this system. The external support are also material goods we possess. Are we in a good financial situation or not? The internal resources, that's the things we learned till now. Mindfulness, my coping mechanisms. Am I self-aware? Do I have a positive outlook on life? Do I see things here positive or negative? So to imagine what kind of stress, what kind of events can trigger those things. As I said, we took that out of catastrophic psychology, out of emergency psychology. Those events are like earthquakes, natural disasters, car accidents, all those possible things where we need a rescue team, where we need firefighters. But there are also some possible stressful events in sports, in club environment. There are some, like injury is always present in sports. For some people, losing an important game can be a very stressful event. Violence, harassment from another team member or a different team member, not making it into a team or losing a certain position as a coach or as an athlete. As a coach, losing a job. when we are at injuries, not being able to return after a serious injury or not being able to play sports anymore. Also some personal crisis events with family members, divorce, something bad happens to our parents, to our children. And as we said, every individual reacts differently to those situations. It's not always just the victim who's in distress in a critical situation. Depending on the event, of course, victim is always in the middle, they will be in the biggest stress. Also, if we take something like a really catastrophic event, we have in the green circle, the local community, everyone who heard about the event can be triggered by that. There is as groups of similar people, for example, now and then every few years you hear of a mining accident or something like that. If there is a mining accident somewhere, that causes stress to a lot of miners overall in the world, because they are aware, okay, that's a thing that also to me can happen. For us as a coaches, we can go into category eyewitnesses. If there was some violence between the athletes, violence between co-workers, also the co-workers in the blue circle, rescuers, as Franz said, like in that ski area, it's you are a rescuer as long as the ambulance doesn't come. Family of the victim is also always in a stress when something happens to their child, their spouse. Then let's go on and have a look what happens in our brain when we experience any kind of stressful events. I think we did that at the beginning in the online session with Maya, but it's good to repeat it, just to remember. So our brain, let's divide it into 3 sections. It's also kind of evolutional how it developed. First, we had just the generations before us, they had that lizard brain, how is it called? Or how was it? It was a reptilian lizard brain, yeah. Actually, there's a brain that controls our muscles, motoric function, and triggers that fight or flight response. It just wants us to survive. It doesn't think for us, it's just, I want to survive. As Dare said, we're on autopilot when we are in that part of the brain. Then we have the mammal brain, the limbic system. There are emotions, memories, habits. We can say, yeah, it's the emotional part of the brain. And our thinking brain, the neocortex, there where we have the left and the right hemisphere, you definitely heard about it. The left one is more like the rational one, the right one is more artistic one. Left one is logical thinking, perception, right one is art, music, rhythm. We both need them for doing sports, for all the things in life, sometimes the one part more, one part less. But when we are in a stressful situation, first things that happen, the left hemisphere turns out. We are not able to think logically anymore. After that, the right part is out, then we are in the emotional brain. It's maybe, panic, fear. Then also this part turns out, and then we are in that lizard brain. That means I'm just on autopilot, fight, flight, or freeze. Depends on the situation, what the brain decides. And we react on situations not always as it should be. That was thousands, millions years ago. If the dangerous animal approached, it was useful to survive. But nowadays, a lot of situations, as if we take losing an important game, it's not life-threatening. But still our brain reacts like it is. And it can happen that the person reacts with screaming, with anger, we are hitting around. It's not appropriate reaction, but our brain is still in that autopilot modus. How can we recognize that somebody is in that reptilian part of the brain, that somebody is under a big stress? We have symptoms on 4 different levels, on physical, cognitive, emotional, and behavioral. Let's start with physical symptoms. They're either tired, high blood pressure, hands are shaking, sweating, they're grinding teeth. A lot of times I read somewhere that 70% of people in big distress, they have to go to pee. Go to the toilet. That's a normal reaction that the body wants to get everything out. Then you also have that blank look where someone is just staring somewhere and doesn't see anything. Then cognitive level, it's no concentration. That's why we said first the left part of the brain shuts down, we can't concentrate anymore, we don't have any attention, problem solving, decision making is not possible in that situation. That's maybe important for us as a coaches. If we are in that stressful situation and still have to make a decision, we're not going to be able to do it. Emotional, anger, guilt, panic, fear, sometimes depression. They want to be alone, the victims. And on behavioral level, different arousal levels. You have, as I said, people that will rage around, run around, hit somebody. On the other hand, you have the social withdrawal, just somewhere in the corner, alone, don't want to talk to anyone. Person is like paralyzed, can't see the important aspects of the situation, is just in their mind and can't take appropriate actions. They feel not to be their self. They see everything through a filter, or that blank look, as we said, looking in that direction but not seeing it. It's kind of also a defense mechanism, looking at yourself from outside, as if you're looking at yourself from a third perspective. Strong and fast changes in emotions, from very agitated, angry, to feeling sad, to be apathic. And we said before, the person feels threat, even if it's already over, and reacts either with flight, fight, or freeze. Then we come to that what's hopefully gonna help us going through those crises if we have some, or some of our colleagues have some of our athletes have some. So first, it's structuring the situation. Let's try to do it on one example. Let's take an accident, sports accident. Somebody gets injured. I will take one from skiing because for me it's the most what I experience a lot of times. You have a group of people, somebody gets injured. The first thing is everybody will go there and asking, oh, what happened? Are you okay? So you as a person, or a coach who's responsible, should go there and take control over the situation. Just make clear for the victim, I'm here for you, everything's gonna be okay, put the other people away, try to get calmness to the situation. And you can also delegate other people, look, call the ambulance, call this one, but just you be there for that person. And the second step we do, you have to come in contact with the person in distress. Always use their name to talk to them, because they're in a different world. Sometimes they don't really check what's happening, they're just in panic. So always say, for example, Tina, I'm here for you. You're injured, but I'm here for you. And then it depends also on what kind of, in the third stage, intervention depends on the activation level. If somebody is, okay, with injury is going to be hard that they're running around and in some agitated state. But if they are loud, if they're screaming, you also have to be loud, otherwise they won't hear you. If they are very calm, then sometimes it's not okay to touch them, because it's going to be shock for them if you touch them. First, just speak, talk to them, I'm here for you, describe what's happening. You had an accident, you're sitting on the floor, the rescuers are on their way. This part is sometimes really good just to describe where they are, what's around them. It also could be just you're sitting on the floor, you are in the ski area, you had an accident. Then there's sometimes it happens that people have breathing problems, hyperventilating. In that case, try and breathe with them, that they get the breathing down. And just try to mirror their behavior. If they are calm, you are calm. If they are agitated, you are loud. That going into interaction, that's this explaining you are sitting here, you had an accident. After that, with an accident, it's hard guiding to a quiet place, going for a walk, but if there was some other incident, for example, some attack from a co-worker, from other athlete, it's good to get that person out of that place where it happened. So just guide them to a calm room. If they're a smoker, go to a walk, give them cigarettes. But just go away from that place where it happened. Calmness, safety, reorientation, the sixth step. They will still be agitated at that moment. You are away from the place, but they may still shaking, being loud, going around like this, what's happening. Try to bring them in here and now. How you do that? One thing is describing the room where you are. Look, you're sitting on the sofa. I have a water there for you. Do you want some water? Describe what you see in the room. You can also describe their behavior, like, oh, you are shaking, look at your hands. Try to put your hands on the knees so that they stop shaking. Breathe with me. That's how you can calm them down and give that, how it's called, the feeling of safety. Then it comes the part where you let them talk. You never ask what happened, how do you feel. You just let them talk. No judgment, nothing. That's the most important thing. Because if you ask, oh, what happened? What did he do to you? You can re-traumatize that person. That means that shortly after something stressful happened, they have to go through the event one more time. If there was some, how is it called? Kaznivo dejanje,
law breaking?
Yeah, there was some law breaking that also police has to cover something. That's also police questioning that person on the same day can be very traumatizing. It's better if it is possible to say, that person today, it's not possible, can we please make an appointment tomorrow? With part 8, describe the situation, we always have that describing, it's a bit confusing, I know. In that part is, say again, something happened to you. I know you are in a shock, just describe what you see of the person. I see you are in a shock, I see you are mad, I see you are afraid. I'm here for you. Saying everything's gonna be okay is reassuring, but it's also it's not all the time that it's really gonna happen. So it's just, I'm here for you. That's a good sentence. Then it comes asking the person what they need, giving them a glass of water, if they want to lay down, if they want to call someone, that's also then with stage 10, take care of their social network. Ask, should I call someone? Should I call your parents? Should I call your spouse? Just take care of their needs, what they need at the moment. Of course, if it's injury and they say, can I have a chocolate? It's maybe not the best thing, because if they need to go to operation, they shouldn't be eating. But a glass of water, it's always okay. And the further agreements, in case that's a coach that is at the moment on a training, wants to work, it's okay to let them work further, but don't give them any important tasks. And there should always be another person there who takes a look, okay, is everything okay with that coach or not? But if they feel I want to work, it's okay, they should work further. There are some things that we should not do, especially if the person is very agitated. And that's minimizing. Oh, it's not that bad as you think. For that person in that moment, it is. For us, as a different person, as you said before, different perception for the same event, it's maybe not bad, but for this person, it is. Then triggering any insecurities. Oh, why didn't you do it like this? Why didn't you prepare the documents an evening before? Why didn't you look a week ago if they are still valid? Don't talk about yourself. Don't say, oh yeah, I had a situation like that 2 years ago. Everything went fine. In some small stressful events, it's okay to calm them down, to reassure them that way. But if it's a bigger stress event for them, it won't help. It will just cause more distress. Don't tell them, yeah, that's part of the sports, injuries, it happens to everyone. Skiers, the ligaments in the knee, they will break sooner or later. Don't do that. Also, don't tell them, just don't think about it, it's gonna be okay. They are thinking about it in that situation, and we should try to help them how to constructively think about it. To explain them, okay, yeah, your thoughts are triggering the things you learned already in that year till now. Those thoughts are triggering those behavior you are having now, your emotions. If it was a major event, as we said before, don't ask about details, don't ask about what happened. If it was a harassment between athletes, don't ask, oh yeah, what happened, what did he do exactly? The police will ask anyway after it. Also about feelings. If they talk on their own, perfectly. But don't ask in details, how do you feel? Are you angry? Are you mad? You should be mad at that person. In this stage is really just accepting everything they tell us. Don't say it's their fault that something happened. And in case of attack, harassment, don't judge the person who did it. There's also like the things that we already have said now, the taboo sentences we shouldn't say to athlete or coach in a stressful situation. I think we went through all of that. Yeah, what happened? Don't overreact. Welcome to the club. Yeah, it happened to everyone. Welcome to the club. But what you should do, wait and let them start to talk. It's one of the important things. Just let them talk what they have to say and accept that. Yeah, for end, we all go through things differently. Depends on how we are, what we experienced.